What's up, y'all? This is the Coach Prenny podcast. We got what's your YouTube channel again, by the way?
Rocky Mountain Oyster Sauce.
We got Rocky Mountain Oyster Sauce back again. He's gonna educate y'all on Taiwan. A lot of y'all was asking about this. A lot of y'all was asking for him to get back on, and I'm glad he's here today. So go ahead, Rocky Mountain. Let's go ahead and tell the people what you can tell them.
Okay, well, one of the interesting things about Taiwan is that whenever we think of Taiwan, we think of an island. And there is a main island, but this is the island of Formosa. It's just one of the islands. The Republic of China, which is who rules Taiwan, has reign over about 60 islands, north of 60 islands. I think it's 66. Some of these are within spitting distance of China. One of them is so close to the Chinese coast that they used to play a Taiwanese pop song on the loudspeakers to annoy the Chinese people. That's how close it is. Okay, and there's 100,000 people. This is called Kinmen County. And on top of that, they named all of their stuff. They didn't name them provinces like China does. They name them counties like America does, just to piss China off, just to stick it to them. So there's a bunch of counties right in the middle of the South China Sea, right? So China is a crest of islands that exist all in this bay. Once we understand that, we understand that it's just not one island being attacked, right? Because there's been a lot in the news lately about whether or not China's going to make its move. Because they've openly spoken about making their move. Everybody knows, they talk about it, right? They openly say that reunification, they haven't said by any means necessary, but they absolutely say that violence is on the table. They will take it by force if they have to. So China's capabilities and the capabilities they have to take Taiwan are suspect at this current point. And if China knew it could take Taiwan right now, it would, if it knew for certain that it would. But the implications on the globe, if China was to try to take Taiwan and fail, would be disastrous. The loss of face would be absolutely horrible. China has time on its side. It is expanding. And it has something that is called, I wrote this acronym down. It's a long one. It's AAADS, Anti-Aircraft Aerial Denial System. All right. This describes the entire Chinese coast and exerted out into the sea, you know, say 200 miles, 300 miles, right? But it continues to grow. The shield continues to grow. And what the shield is it's missile systems, electronic capabilities, electronic warfare systems, and air defense systems. Basically, they've created like a corona around, around their coast that is impenetrable. And the first island chain lies within this. This is Japan. This is Taiwan. They are within this. They are within the net that China can just destroy at will, if it wants to. Now, here's the problem. Now, a lot of this information is coming from the Caspian Report. Shirvan is the guy's name. He's an awesome source on geopolitics across the board. I got to give it to him, Caspian Report. So, the cost for China to invade is going to be horrendous. There's no way around it. Taiwan has been described by several military officials as the most complex invasion that will have ever happened, if it happens. Less than 10% of Taiwan's coast is suitable for amphibious landing. So they only have to guard 10 checkpoints, right? The rest of the island is rocky coastline, rapids, sheer cliffs. It's a horrible invasion by any standards. It's just not something you want to get into. China has not shown the ability to do complicated things like this. If air, land, and sea forces all show up at the same time, or no, if one of them gets off by 20 minutes, if the air shows up for 20 minutes before everybody else, they're going to run out of gas. They can't just circle for 20 minutes. There's air defense systems everywhere. If the come in, if the boats come in, there's guns all over the island. If the boats come in and there's no air support, right? So all of these things, and then all of that has to be in place and stay in place while the troops disembark, the foot troops, the land troops disembark, so you don't end up with Normandy, right? So this is incredibly complicated, and China has not shown the ability to do this. The last time China got in a real war, they got into it with Vietnam, which is somebody they should have been able to decimate. They performed very poorly. It's not necessarily that they won or lost. It was kind of a stalemate situation. They didn't force Vietnam to capitulate in any way. They wrecked a bunch of stuff, but they performed poorly. It should have been a no-brainer. They should have just been able to take it. So the ability to destroy Taiwan is absolute. They can destroy Taiwan at will. The ability to take Taiwan is a completely different story. And therein lies the problem. Taiwan is the leading manufacturer of chips, microprocessors in the world. They are the only plant in the world that can produce a chip less than 10 nanometers across. So a computer chip less than 10 nanometers across. They actually can produce ones down to 5, and they're claiming that they will be rolling out a 3 nanometer chip in the next 18 months. Nobody else can do anything even close to that, right? So Russia is nowhere near this. Nowhere near this. Almost what Taiwan has done is it has gotten itself in bed with everybody, including China. If you want these advanced chips, you're going to have to, okay, put it this way. For China to compete with America, China needs Taiwan's chips, right?
Right.
So now it's all an incestuous, right? They've gotten in bed with everybody, and you know how Taiwan is with America, but they're in bed, and then America's in bed with China too. You know what I mean? All the American politicians. So they've gotten themselves in this incestuous situation where if China destroys Taiwan, they cripple their economy moving forward. America is building foundries. We're getting ready for this right now. And Taiwan Semiconductor, the biggest chip supplier in the world, is building a plant in Arizona. But what they're doing is they are outsourcing like the 10 nanometers and the 5 nanometers and saying, but we're going to do the 3 nanometers here. So the same thing, they're protecting. The best stuff in the world is going to continue to come out of Taiwan. And this is how they're, right? So China has a problem right now. China has some internal problems, and the odds of them attacking Taiwan right now, it will be because a prime minister or Xi Jinping or whoever's in charge has lost so much face for some random situation that he sees no other way out. There's a political term for this. I don't remember exactly what it was, but there's a geopolitical term that's like, it's like saving the baby or something like that. And this is what it means. It's like a Hail Mary.
Oh, save the baby
like
and throw out the bathwater, or don't throw out the baby.
No, it's not that.
Oh.
No, it's an actual political term. That's not it. That's just something funny. I was just being stupid. But there is a term for this. And what it means is like, you got to double down. You know what I mean? You got to, like, if Putin dropped a nuke, it would be like, okay, well, how about this? How about I win? Right? You know what I mean? It's like a last ditch effort. I just can't remember the name of it right now. But the idea being that it would be that, or nationalism, some sort of politics pushed them into it. But right now, it's really not worth the situation. But what I will say is that there's a fierce nationalism in China, and there's much like there is in Russia, and there is absolutely support for doing these things. There is absolutely support for taking Taiwan. There's a bunch of people who are against it as well, but there's absolutely support for this. There's support with it within Taiwan. So China's in a bad situation with that. It's best for them. It's best for them to continue doing what they're doing, and what they're doing is the type of soft warfare, right? Hybrid warfare. So I believe the estimate was they cost Taiwan $900 million in wear and tear on their planes from scrambling jets. They keep intrusions into their airspace. So they just wear, fuel and wear and tear, because a plane can only be like an F-16. They've got our plane, you know what I mean? Those can only fly for so many hours. You can't fly them forever. So they've got them on, there's something like 400 sorties or something like that a month. You know what I mean? Into their airspace, 400 incursions into their airspace a month, something like that. It's just ramped up, and they're causing them crazy amounts of money. They're constantly under cyber attack. And why? And then they have, China has what they've called their maritime militia. And what it is it's like it's like a militia, exactly what it says. And what it is it's a bunch of, you want to be a fisherman, you're Chinese, here's your boat. They give you a nice boat, or give you a nice loan, usually a loan for a boat, right? But your boat has to meet specific certifications. And those certifications just happen to align with like being able to mount weapons on them and things of this nature, right? So all these fishing boats are very easily convertible into wartime boats, right?
Right.
And they're all publicly funded. They're government funded. So why wouldn't you're going to take one? If they offer you a boat, hell yeah, I'm going to take a boat. They offer you a boat on credit, you know what I mean? Because it's like a government program trying to help people up, And so all of their fishermen are basically weaponized. This allows fishermen to be out in the waters. You basically have trolling weapons that have license to fish. And if shit happens, they're there, right?
Right.
And they use these to harass the Philippines. That's another thing. China has running border disputes with, I believe, every single one of its neighbors, right? So this behavior isn't exclusive to Taiwan. This is everywhere. Why is the Chinese border on the other side of the Mongolian, of the Great Wall of China? That was supposed to be the border with Mongolia to keep the Mongols out. It's like hundreds of miles on the other side of it now. So they've just a slow creep of what they can take, and they do it with everybody. There was a border clash with India last year. 20 people were, they admit that 20 Indians were killed. They won't admit how many Chinese were killed. They, on the Chinese-Indian border, they have de-armed the soldier to avoid a conflict. So 20 Indian soldiers were killed, beaten to death. These people were beaten with rocks and sticks. Like I said, we don't know how many Chinese because they won't talk about it. But that's how bad the border dispute is there. They have border disputes with everybody. They try to bulldog the Philippines, Malaysia, anybody.
Now, can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
If China chose to invade Taiwan, what would be the United States response, in your opinion?
It overwhelmingly matters who's in office right now. If we were going to say that would happen right now, would Biden go? Probably. It's not Ukraine. Those chips are important. Those chips are really important. If China takes it, that's it. We're done. All the hype about Western domination being over and hegemony, the end of the Western Empire, it'll happen. So if I was president, I would.
So America will be willing to. It's definite that Taiwan's worth fighting for, pretty much for
Yes.
America. Mm.
And so it's 100% worth fighting for. It's worth fighting for anybody who can take it.
Mm.
It's not just for America. That's why China's looking at it. Anybody that can take it should. From a geostrategic standpoint, if you can take it, you should. Absolutely. I would go to war. Yeah.
So these people who think Taiwan, wow, it's a small little island, why are people talking about it? They don't know how important that, whoever takes that has dominance, essentially, correct?
You can control the world, yes. Whoever carries favor with Taiwan, special favor. Right now, they have, I would say, yeah, they give us a better deal. I'm pretty sure, I don't know the specifics, but I feel like they probably give us a better deal than China. But like I said, they're in bed with China too. But yeah, right now it's kind of spread out, you know. Their love is spread out, if you will, if that makes sense. What was the question again?
Oh,
what was the exact question?
Yeah,
was that
it? Yeah, it was my exact question. What was my exact? Oh, yeah, whoever takes Taiwan essentially has a sort of dominance over the world, at least economically. Is that?
It's an inevitable dominance. If you can control it moving forward and not destroy things, and there's 33 million people there. There's 130,000 soldiers, roughly 130,000 soldiers. There's 1 million reservists. So, and everybody, I think it's compulsory military service. Don't hold me to that. I could be wrong, but I think it is. And we now see what has happened from Ukraine. It would not surprise me if they had already drawn up some. I would have. If they would have, I would have already drawn up some. If I was Taiwanese and said, let's look what we use, it works for the Ukrainians, like the handing out weapons type stuff, or the what you call of the acquiring of certain Western weapons that have shown to work very well. Probably stingers. I'd probably be somebody to. I'd probably be harassing a company to make me a whole bunch of stingers pretty quick here, bribing some company. That's what Taiwan tends to do. They like to throw their money around. If China, Taiwan's real good with Lithuania, I believe. Lithuania is not a fan of China. Oh, they openly hostile towards them. And a while back, a bunch of Lithuanian ships showed up, and China shut one of their ports down and told the Lithuanians to F off. It was a bunch of tequila, I believe. And Taiwan said, we'll buy that tequila. We'll take it. Just bring it right over here. You know what I mean? That's the type of stuff they do. You know, they are kind of they're antagonistic to a point. You know, they make their stance be known.
Now, major question here. Since we know that's a red line for the United States, I've heard a lot of people say, agree with what you said, that Taiwan is worth fighting for. If China and the U.S. fought over Taiwan at this point, what do you see the outcome being?
We would win.
Yeah.
We would win. We would win because unless they were able to destroy several of our aircraft carriers in like a shock and awe campaign and a sneak campaign or something like that. That's if they were smart, that's what they do. That's what I do is maybe, yeah, I would try to target with some missiles and try, because we have too many aircraft carriers and those things project power. You know what I mean? They project power. All those little fishing boats don't count when you get out in open water, right? They can't move across the ocean. Those thousands and they've done that route. You know, you've seen that route. You know, okay, some people like one big gun and some people like a bunch of little ones. That's all it is. You know, it's just a bunch of little itty bitty guns, but they don't have the long distance. But that we always have to say with that caveat, it has to be that we have to take nuclear weapons out of the picture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's just it's not a pertinent argument. It doesn't really matter. So we just hope that won't go there. in a war, though, it really sucks. I'm not a fan of who's running China right now.
Mhm.
He might do something stupid if things got hairy. I do believe that if he got pushed into a corner, I do believe that he might do something stupid. But as things are right now, I don't really see it. But I would just say because of raw tonnage in the water. That's just raw tonnage in the water. The Navy is what projects power throughout the world, because you can't fly from America over there. You know what I mean? You can't fly from America to China. I mean, I guess in theory, maybe if you come up by what's called Russia or something like that, you know what I mean? But you get my point. You can't
Right.
fly a bunch of jets across the Pacific Ocean. It's about being able to project naval power throughout the world, because naval power is how you project your land forces and everything else throughout the world. China or China is ascending.
It's ascending.
So it's a problem. Yes, it's a problem. It's absolutely a problem. What I'm saying now won't be true very much longer. They're adding air. They know where their deficiencies are. They're adding nuclear submarines and aircraft carriers, which is where there's so you know what I mean? The things that I'm telling you they're lacking right now. Yeah. Yeah. And Taiwan's nowhere close to that. Taiwan has 2 nuclear subs. China's got like 60. And their plans, Taiwan has plans to quadruple their fleet, so they'll have 8 in like 2 years. And I don't know how many China will have by then, as many as they can build. Right?
How do you feel as a person that's really knowledgeable in China? What is their strategy while looking at this Ukraine invasion? Are they just watching and learning, or do you think they will ever try to get involved themselves?
No, absolutely not. It's like a hot poker. They're not going to touch that unless they absolutely have to. There's no benefit. They are bedfellows already. They need each other. They're basically mutually exclusive. Nobody can fulfill the other one's needs like China and Russia can, because their needs are military, right?
Right.
And so there's nobody else who can fill those roles to fill in the gap that is created by NATO, the shadow that is created by NATO. Russia and China, they fill that spot for each other, and so they have to back each other. You never know until things happen, right? Until something actually goes down. But they have to back each other because they don't have anybody else. So what do they gain? What does China gain? Think about this. Whenever Afghanistan fell, everybody said, "Oh, China about to run in there. They're about to run in there. They're about to go meddling in there. Da 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 da. Here they come. They're about to project power." China didn't want nothing to do with it. Afghans are crazy. Taliban's crazy. China has experience with a crazy nephew, North Korea, right? Did you know North Korea is the only country in the world that openly attacks China? They have attacked China's. They don't play that their maritime militia. They're not hearing that. Oh, we're out here fishing. They'll fire on them. They fire on them a lot, right? They don't care. They protect their waters. They will fire on you. They fire on China, and that's their only friend in the world. So they understand what it is to live next to a crazy person, right? So they don't want to touch the Taliban. The Taliban's, this is what happened. The Taliban, every time the Taliban takes over, then they start fighting amongst each other, because they're the same thing. They're a bunch of warring tribes. So once they kick everybody out, that's what they've done twice already. Twice they've taken power and then they just muck it up.
Right.
Now,
so we got guys, we got 5 minutes left. It was a question that a subscriber gave me. I thought you would be, with your expertise, more knowledgeable in this. Where it seems like everybody stopped talking about North Korea. It's funny you brought them up. What are they doing right now?
My understanding is that there's really bad food shortages, and even worse than normal. They have I'm going to pronounce it wrong. It's called dulce. It's a philosophy, and it's called self-reliance. It translates into self-reliance. It means take care of your damn self, because the state's not going to. right? And it was started a long time ago. And if I remember right, it may have been China that was doing this, the empty plate campaign. There was an empty plate campaign somewhere where they were saying that 3 meals a day was Western decadence, and that if you were going to be patriotic, you needed to move down to 2. Now that could be China though. That might have been somewhere in China where they weren't doing too well. But yeah, my understanding is that it's not doing well as far as food is concerned. They fire rockets every once in a while, you know. It's the same thing. Basically, he threatens the world whenever he wants stuff. From what I can tell, that's kind of their thing, is they threaten the world whenever they want stuff, but nobody really cares right now because the world's kind of going poop. You know, nobody hears him. You don't hear him over Ukraine and over
right. Okay,
else,
so it's more crazy stuff going on.
Yeah. What about the Maxwell trial? You know what I mean? They forgot about that. But you know, but yeah. And I wanted to clear something up. Last time we spoke, I think I said something. I said men twice, something about the Azovs being men twice. And whenever I watched the video, I said, man, it seems like I'm emphasizing that. There was women in the Azov regiment by like 2017. There was news stories about it. So which means they were probably in there in 2016, realistically, right, if the story was being wrote in 2017. So I wanted to clear that up. I think I was wrong about that one. And it was something else. It was just silly stuff, little stuff, but it was stuff that I didn't like. Whenever I heard it, I was like, oh, that's inaccurate, you know? But
well, amazing, guys. Hey, we're going to get out of here. Guys, send me your questions. I'm sure he's willing to answer. He's an up-and-coming YouTuber. I'm sure he's gonna go far, man. Has a ton of knowledge. I enjoy watching him myself. So go ahead and shout your channel out one more time. And
I'm ready for it this time. Adaptive Multimedia on Facebook, Rocky Mountain Oyster Sauce on YouTube, Oyster Sauce on TikTok. I got a French bulldog. He does tricks. I'm gonna make him a TikTok star. Stay
I gotta follow that. Hey, I gotta follow that.
Yeah.
Say it again. Sauce. What's that Oyster TikTok?
Oyster Sauce on TikTok.
Amazing.
Oyster Sauce. Yeah.
Amazing.
Okay.
Hey, you keep doing what you're doing. Don't you ever stop, man. You are shining light, man, for YouTube. We need more genuine people like you. I mean, this is serious. We need more genuine people like you. Stay on your journey, man. And guys, if you like my channel, you need to subscribe to his. 100%, man. He's a truth teller, and we got to protect him, man. So anyway, this is the Coach Pointy podcast, and we're going to get out of here. I'm sure he'll be back. Peace.